Hey guys, so today we are going to discuss digital differential analysis. So now suppose that we have a coordinate axis, that is the y-axis and this is the x-axis, and suppose we have to draw a line. Now let us say that we have to draw a line from the point x1 y1 to the point x2 y2, and this is your y coordinate and this is your x coordinate. Now we will be using DDA, that is digital differential analysis, in order to find different points from x1 y1 to x2 y2 in order to draw a line. Now remember that this line may not be straight, as we might get certain points which may be lying outside this line. So need not worry about that. We just want a points which will lie in this particular direction, that is from x1 y1 to x2 y2. Now there are different cases in this, that is suppose it will also depend on the value of ym, that is the slope, whether it is positive, whether it is negative, and suppose if it is greater than 1 or less than 1. So there will be different formulas for each of these cases and we will be discussing each one of them. And the formulas will also depend whether we are going from left to right or whether we are going from right to left. So these are the different cases which we will be taking or considering in order to find different formulas. So now let us see case 1. That is the first part, in which let us again draw the coordinate axis. That is the y and this is the x axis. And we have to draw a line from the point x1 y1 to x2 y2. That is, this is x1 y1 and this is x2 y2. Now we have to find out different points on this line. Suppose we have to find out a point, this let us say x and y. Then the value of x will be equal to x1 plus del x. Now similarly we will write the value of y as y1 plus del y. And we know that the value of a straight line, that is this line, is equal to y is equal to mx plus c. And we know that del y is equal to y2 minus y1 and del x is equal to x2 minus x1. So these are the things that we already know, that this is the general equation of a line, and this is how we write del y and del x. And guys, please keep writing along with me, as it will really help you, and because we are going to do different conditions, so you do not get confused, so keep writing along with me. And now we will see that del x is equal to del y by del y by m, and del y is equal to del x m. So now we will be putting these in these two equations. On doing so, you will get the value of x as x plus x1 plus del y by m, and you will get the value of y as y1 plus del x m. Now let us consider the first case, that is case 1, in which we will have different scenarios. So this is scenario case 1.1. Now in case 1 we have that suppose the value of m is positive. Now different scenarios in this case will be, suppose that case 1.1 is the value of m is less than 1, which means that the value of del x will be greater than del y, as we know that m is equal to, or the slope is equal to, del y by del x. That is, this m is the slope which we wrote over here in this equation. Now let us continue with this scenario, that is now the next point, or we can say xi plus 1 in the subscript will be equal to xi plus 1. Remember that this is written in the subscript, and over here we are adding 1 to xi, so these two are different. So this means that the next x coordinate of the line that we want to draw will be xi plus 1. Now similarly the next y coordinate that we want to draw will be given by yi plus m. Now how we got this formula? Let us see that over whenever m is less than 1, we will take del x equal to plus 1. So these are the things that you have to remember, that whenever m is positive and we are going from left to right, that is over here we are considering this this axis, that is we are going from left to right, we are going. So we will be taking del x plus 1 whenever m is less than 1 and m is positive. Now that we have got del x as 1, now if you see this equation that we got earlier, if you put del x equal to 1, you will get this equation that we have written over here. That is your yi plus 1 will be equal to yi plus m. That is, this was the next coordinate and this was the previous coordinate, and this was del x plus 1 x plus m, in which we wrote del x is equal to plus 1. Now similarly, let us come to the other case, that is when the value of m is greater than 1, or the case in which we can say that the value of del y will be greater than del x, as we know that m is equal to del y by del x. And guys, keep writing along with me, otherwise you will get confused. Now let us see that what will be the value of the next x coordinate and the next y coordinate. But before that, let us assign the value of del y as plus 1. Earlier we wrote the value of del x as plus 1, but now that we have got m greater than 1, we will be using del y as plus 1. So now we will get the next y coordinate as yi plus 1, and we will get the next x coordinate as xi plus 1 is equal to xi plus 1 by m. Now how we got this? Similarly, just how we got the yi plus 1 formula. That is, now that we have del y is equal to plus 1, we will simply put del y plus 1 over here. That is in this equation. And on doing so, you will get the value of xi plus 1 as xi plus 1 by m. And now let us come to the last case for this scenario. That is, let me change the color. Now suppose that value of m is equal to 1. So in that case, del x will be equal to del y. So you have to do nothing, you simply put the value of the next x coordinate as xi plus 1, and simply put the value of next y coordinate as yi plus 1. So this is what you have to do. When we are going from left to right, m is positive, and when m is less than 1, take del x is equal to 1. When m is greater than 1, take del y equal to 1. And when m is equal to 1, just simply add 1 to the next y and x and y coordinates. Now if you want me to write this again, I'll just summarize it up. Suppose we are going from left to right. Write it along with me so that it is clear to you and you get your proper notes. And now we will be writing m is equal to less than 1. So over here we consider del x equal to plus 1, and we get the value of ix plus 1 is equal to xi plus 1. Remember that this is in the subscript. And we get yi plus 1 as yi plus n. And this was the first case. Now in second part we have, and we are m is positive also. Remember that. These are the two things that we are noting. That we are going from left to right, we are taking m positive. Now over here m is greater than 1. We will put del y is equal to plus 1, and xi plus 1 will be, we will get it as 1 upon xi plus 1 by m. Then you will get yi plus 1 as yi plus 1. Remember that this part is over in the subscript. Now the third last case is m is equal to 1, in which we will take del x is equal to del y, or we can simply write that the next x coordinate will be xi plus 1 and next y coordinate will be yi plus 1. So this is nothing, just I have written the above this whole part, that is, this whole part has been summarized over here. That is the summary of the above case. And remember that, just a minute, let me change the color. Remember that this is what we are considering in this case, that is, we are going from left to right and m is positive. Now let us come to another scenario, that is in which we will be moving from left to right to left. That is, let us say that this was part A. Now we will be considering part B. That is, in this, let us first draw the coordinate axis. And this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. Now we are again going to write 2 points, that is x1, y1, and let us say this is x2, y2, and this is x1, y1, because now we are moving from the point right to left. That is, we will be going from right to left. That is over from this to this. That is from x1, y1 to x2, y2. Now we will be having different criteria over here. So now let me summarize it again, that for part B we will be moving from right to left, and m will again be positive over here. we are always considering m positive for these two cases, because we can see that this is a line with a positive slope. So now we are going to consider different scenarios. Now let us again define that what will del x will be. It will be equal to x2 minus x1. What will del y be equal to? It will be equal to y2 minus y1. So now when m is positive, let us consider case 1, when m is less than 1 and m is positive, and when we are moving from right to left. So over here we will take the value of del x is equal to minus 1, and on doing so you will get the value of the next x coordinate as xi plus 1, xi minus 1. Remember that this is the subscript. And over here you will get the value of next y coordinate as yi plus 1, yi minus m. Now similarly, let us take the second case in which m will be greater than 1. That is, in here we will take del y is equal to minus 1, and we will get the next x coordinate as xi minus 1 by m, and the next y coordinate as yi minus 1. And the third case is simple. What we will do is we will simply take m is equal to 1, and in this case the x, y and coordinate will be simply decremented by 1. That is, now yi plus 1 be equal to yi minus 1. Now let us compare the two cases, that is the B case and the A case. In A we were moving from left to right, in B we are moving from right to left, and in B we are taking m positive, and again over here also we are taking m positive in the B part. And now in A, that is A we took del x plus 1 when m was less than 1, but in B we took del x as minus 1. And similarly everything is just the opposite as compared to the case A. That is, I hope that you were able to understand these two cases. Now let us move to the last case, or the last scenario. Let us say the C point, the C part. Now in C part we will be moving from left to right, but over here now we will be taking m as negative. That is, this is the part that which has changed. That now our coordinate axis will look like this. That is, the coordinate axis will be y and x, but the line that we will be drawing will now look like this, because now it has a negative slope. So let us mark the points. That is, this will be x1 y1, and this will be x2 y2, and we are moving from left to right. Now this case is similar to part A, but the difference is that we had taken m to be positive over here, but now we will be taking m to be negative over here. So it is a whole new scenario. That is why we have created it as a separate case. So now let us consider the different scenarios over here again. Say that the m value, now we will be taking mod, that mod of m is less than 1. This is the first part. So over here we will be taking del x is equal to 1, and we will get the next x coordinate as xi plus 1 is equal to xi plus 1, and we will get the value of yi plus 1 as yi plus m. We have taken it to be plus m because we know that m is negative, so y will be decremented, and x has to be incremented because we are moving from left to right, because in this direction x increases and in this direction y decreases. So we are moving in this direction. That is why we want to increase x and we want to decrease y. That is why we have taken increment of xi plus 1, and over here we are taking plus m, but we know that m is negative, so y will be eventually decremented. Now let us come to the second case, that is when mod of m is greater than 1. Now in this case what we will do is that we will take value of del y as minus 1. Over here we took del x as 1. Now over here we will take del y as minus 1. Now we will get the next x coordinate as xi minus m, and we will get the value of next y coordinate as yi minus 1. Now as I told earlier that we need to increment y, or we need to increment x, as x will be increasing as we move from left to right. That is why we have taken it to be minus m. Now you must be considering that if we are subtracting m, then the value of x will increase, but on the other hand we want x to increase. So what we will do So what we will see that m is negative, as I told you earlier. So this part, this minus sign will become positive. So the value of x will increase. That is what we want, because we are moving from left to right. And the value of y will decrease, as we had wanted that we are moving from top to down also. So the value of y should decrease, and that is what is happening over here. So guys, these are the three cases that we have discussed for DDA, and these are very important and you have to remember each one of them, because a numerical can be asked in any which way, that any one of these scenarios can be given and you will have to use these formulas for each different case. That is, the value of m can be less than 1, it can be negative, and you can either move from left to right or you can move from right to left. Anything can be asked. So let me just summarize it again, that what we had discussed till now. That is what we had done. Let me change the color. Okay. So what we did that, first of all, I told you that what is DDA. That is, we simply create a line from point x1 y1 to a point x2 y2. That is, we have to find the points between them. And then we had different scenarios for that. That is, we had m plus 1, and then we have this part. Then we had this part and this part. That is when m is greater than 1, m is less than 1, m is negative, and m is positive. And then we wrote the formula for x and y. Then similarly, we wrote the general equation for a line, which is equal to y is equal to mx plus c, and this is the general line of the equation. Then I told you that, oh, this is how you calculate del y and del x. Then we wrote the formula for x and y. Then we know the formula for m is, that is the slope, as del y by del x. Then we took our a part, that is, let us come over here, that is a part, in which the value of L is, we are moving from left to right, and the value of M is positive. And the first case that we took was M is less than 1, then we took X plus 1, then we found out the next X and Y coordinates. Similarly, we took the coordinates for M greater than 1, and similarly found the coordinates for M is equal to 1. Now this was the case when we are moving from left to right. Now secondly, that is for part B, we are moving from right to left, that is from the right end to the left end. And over here we wrote these formulas, that is, as we had discussed earlier. Now over here we move from left to right, right to left, and m is positive. So we have taken m to be less than 1 as first case. In that we took del x as minus 1, and we got the next x and y coordinates. Now over here we took m greater than 1, then we got the y coordinate, del y as minus 1, and we got the next x and y coordinates. And over here we had m is equal to 1, and so we simply incremented x and y. Simply decremented x and y in order to get our values. Now let us come to this part, that is the last part, in which we are moving from left to right, but we have taken m to be negative. That is, now mod of m will be less than 1, in which we will take del x is equal to 1, and we will increment x as we are moving from left to right, and we will decrement y because moving from top to bottom. And remember that the value of m is negative. Now in the second case we took m greater than 1, so over here del y will be equal to minus 1, and so we have taken xi plus 1 as xi minus m, which will eventually become plus because m is negative, and we have decremented y as we had wanted to because we are moving from top to down. So these are the three cases that we had discussed, and I hope that you were able to understand each one of these. So guys, if you are able to understand that the concepts that I discussed about DDA, just write wow in the comment section, and it would be great to know that you were able to understand it. So guys, this is it for this video, and before leaving, do not forget to subscribe, as it really motivates me to create more such videos in order to clear your concepts. And guys, this is it for this video. See you in the next one.